don't fall far from the tree, man. You got to realize that. You know, he didn't get all this from his daddy because he didn't know his daddy, even though they try to say his daddy was some big time deal in the whole 9 yards. You understand? He didn't get this from his daddy. You got to realize, man, you know, his mother had a modeling agency, and it was alleged that it was also ladies of the night, a prostitution ring too, or these ladies was doing things other than modeling. So the apple don't fall far from.
Girl, the internet is in chaos right now because word on the street is that Diddy's mother, Janice Combs, might be tied to his so-called freak-offs and some of his shady behavior. Social media is absolutely buzzing. People have been speculating for years that Diddy didn't just pick up all his wild habits on his own. And now that fans think they've found some kind of proof that Janice may have been involved, let's just say things are getting real messy. And here's the part that's really blowing people's minds. Some of this alleged proof goes all the way back to when Diddy was just a little boy. Not just any age, a 4-year-old child. But hold on, it doesn't stop there. There are even whispers that Janice may have been involved in some dark, possibly satanic stuff, and that Diddy might have been used in those rituals, allegedly as some sort of altar or offering. So now the big question everyone's asking is Diddy acting out today because of some deep spiritual trauma from his childhood? Did Janice mess him up emotionally or spiritually? Or is Diddy just plain toxic on his own? Let's dig into this. If you know anything about Diddy's background, then you already know he was raised by Janice as a single mom. His father, Melvin Combs, was reportedly connected to Frank Lucas. Yes, that Frank Lucas, the infamous drug kingpin whose life inspired the movie. This also lines up with what a few people from Diddy's past have been saying. One of them is Tim "Dog" Patterson, a former music producer who used to be part of the Bad Boy Records crew. Tim has known Diddy for years, way before the fame, and he says there's a whole other side to Diddy that most folks have never seen. After stepping away from the music industry, Tim opened up about their early years. According to him, he and Diddy grew up together in Mount Vernon, New York, not long after Diddy's dad passed away. Patterson says there's a lot about Diddy's upbringing that was never made public, and now he's pulling back the curtain. When Tim was a few years older, he and his mom actually moved into the lower level of the Combs family's house. Along with other childhood friends like Lee Davis and Rich Parker, he remembers Diddy and his mom, Janice Combs, seeming more well-off than most families in the neighborhood. Diddy attended Mount St. Michael Academy, a private Catholic school, and always had the latest clothes and best toys. Patterson says Diddy was seen as the rich kid in their area. And here's the thing, folks started wondering how Janice was able to afford that kind of lifestyle, especially on a teaching assistant's salary. Private school tuition for 2 kids isn't cheap. Combine that with their more upscale way of living, and well, the math just doesn't add up. Something wasn't making sense. But according to Patterson, there may have been another source of income, and it had nothing to do with working a 9 to 5. He claims Janice used to throw wild, adults-only parties on the side. And yes, that's exactly what it sounds like. What's even more disturbing is that, according to reports, her 2 young children were often in the house during these parties, exposed to things no child should ever have to witness. Patterson remembers the whole household being chaotic. He says Janice would host wild gatherings full of alcohol, pimps, and drug dealers even when the kids were home. He recalled nights when someone could accidentally walk into a bedroom and find a couple in the middle of something private. We were exposed to that. It's what we grew up around, Patterson said. Was it desensitizing? Absolutely. Were we even aware of what we were seeing? Not really. That was just a typical Saturday night. But wait, it gets even darker. Now, some fans are speculating that there might have been something far more sinister going on.
My mom, called Mom Dukes.
Hi.
She's getting a drip with me. She's hydrating. What's up, Mom?
It's good, baby. Happy with you?
Yeah.
I love you.
Love you too. Mom freshly dipped though. Mom's thing. I ain't gonna hate on my mom. She's single. Me and my mom talked about one time doing a dating show. She's so picky. She's so picky, they don't stand. But yeah, that'd be the funniest show in the world.
It will be. Especially with me.
I don't even want to get started when she was doing that. We're not doing that. Cause yeah, my mom's single. Yeah, for real. Mom do know how to have a good time. Cause he ain't sitting in the house playing. He outside moving and shaking, baby.
That's right.
She come with me to the strip club. I don't care. Real. It's my dog. You know, I want to live life. Be out here moving and grooving. My mom told me, she just said, keep moving, baby.
That's right.
Keep moving. She
Don't stop.
She could touch the floor with her palms. You know?
Right.
Like,
Child, there's just so much wrong with that video, it's hard to even know where to begin. First of all, let's talk about the part where Diddy and Janice are seen getting IV treatments for hydration, and Janice is sporting white nails. Now, if you've read Cassie's lawsuit, you'll remember she claimed that Diddy had a weird obsession with white nails. According to her, he forced her to wear white nail polish because he liked the way it looked against the skin of black escorts. Cassie also revealed something else disturbing. After the so-called freak-offs, everyone involved, herself, Diddy, and the other women, would often be so drained, physically and emotionally, that they'd get hooked up to liquid IVs to recover. In her words, after freak-offs, Combs and the victims typically received IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and substance use. So when people saw that video of Diddy and Janice, both getting IVs and looking worn out, while she had those signature white nails on, it raised eyebrows. The comments, the vibe, everything about it felt inappropriate. It gave off the exact same energy Cassie was describing. It definitely seemed like they were recovering from something wild, and not just dehydration. And while we're here, someone needs to gently tell Mama Combs to let go of those shiny, outdated wigs that look like they came straight from Party City. That style should have stayed in the 90s. But anyway, back to the rumors about Diddy possibly being used as a satanic altar when he was a child. There's been a lot of talk over the years about Diddy.
Same guy that Kirk Burrows once told me he slapped his mother. And I told everybody, had I known he slapped his mother after I told Kirk Burrows, Kirk told me after I straightened his ass out for cussing his mama out. His mother came in the limousine and he was on the phone and she said, yo, why don't you tell these people like that? And he just cussed her clean out like on some, didn't I tell you to stay out of business? And I was like, yo, I was shocked. She didn't say nothing. I said to him, I said, yo, boy, let me tell you something. If you ever cuss your mama again, I'm gonna out you. You ain't gonna bring nothing but bad luck to us.
Yeah, honestly. It's really not all that surprising how Diddy ended up, considering everything that's been coming out. And when all his bad behavior finally started catching up with him, guess who jumped into action right away? His mom, Janice Combs. She immediately went on the defensive, blaming the public for turning on her poor baby and accusing the feds of setting him up. She put out a statement that read, "Many individuals who were wrongfully convicted and later exonerated had their freedom taken from them, not because they were guilty of the crimes they were accused of, but because they didn't fit the image of what this society considers to be a good person." She continued, "History has shown us how individuals can be wrongfully convicted due to their past actions or mistakes." The statement got even more emotional. Janice said, "Watching the world make jokes and laugh at my son's life crumbling before our eyes is something I'll never forget. It's truly agonizing to see everyone turn against my son so quickly and so easily, based on lies and misunderstandings, without even hearing his side or giving him the chance to explain himself. These accusations are being made by people who, are looking for a payday, not justice. They saw how fast my son's legal team settled his ex-girlfriend's lawsuit, and now they think they can cash in too by making false claims. But wait, there's more. People are also calling out Janice for allegedly faking an illness to help Diddy avoid trouble with the feds. When early rumors started swirling that the federal government was getting ready to indict Diddy and had already invited him in for questioning, suddenly Janice fell ill. And conveniently, the only person who could be by her side? Diddy.TMZ reported that Janice Combs was rushed to the hospital one Wednesday after she complained about chest discomfort. Sources close to Diddy said it's still unclear what caused the pain, but she was expected to stay in the hospital for at least another day. At the time, Diddy was in Miami, and at Janice's request, he rushed to be with her. According to insiders, Janice believed the pain was related to the stress of her son's legal troubles, including the federal investigation and multiple civil lawsuits. She had also been seen spending time with him in Miami in the weeks following the raids on his homes. For several weeks, Diddy kept to himself and mostly spent time with close family, mainly Janice and his kids. The doctors reportedly kept Janice in the hospital an extra night for more testing and observation. Diddy stayed with her the entire time. A source close to the situation said, "He's her comfort in this." Now listen, she comes across as a classic boy mom, but not in the wholesome way. With everything she's allegedly done, from throwing those wild freak-off parties to reportedly using her son in disturbing spiritual rituals, it's not exactly a mystery how Diddy turned out the way he did. But that's just the story as we know it. I want to hear what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to check out the next video.